What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the show, and here we are scraping just barely with this Dinobot December. It was almost a Dinobot disaster is what it was, but we got it in. I'm currently filming this on my birthday, actually, and the day it comes out is the day after my birthday, so happy birthday to me. I am now 3 decades into this life, but it's a pretty good life with pretty good toys, and we're going to take a look at one right now. Here we have the Studio Series 86 Leader Class Sludge. Could that have been less mumbled? I don't know. But being old like I am, there is a movie from my childhood that some of you may or may not know called The Land Before Time, and because of that movie I have always liked my long-necked dinosaurs, so this is very pleasing to me. I don't know about you, but let's go ahead and take a look. From the side we have screw holes. No, I don't care about screw holes. But we have nice gold paint on the head and this part of the neck, just like his dino brethren. Same blue paint on the eyes. You do have a slathering of that silvery paint on this panel specifically, with gunmetal stripe, gunmetal discs, red poking through from the robot, and gold up here to simulate probably dino feet again. I'm not an expert. Please don't come to this channel expecting an expert. I've got half an idea and half a brain to work on it with. But we've got some gunmetal stripes down here, and then to finish off the tail we have a little bit more of that silver paint on the top. You can see the silver paint and stuff, and he's not completely tabbed together, but I feel like that's more me rushing than me giving him a fair shake. You can get it squished together if you want to. From the bottom, you have the big old cavity here, and a lot of people, myself included, believe that they just ran out of budget to make this 2 pieces where these would fold in and cover up this cavity, so they just slapped these little peg holes there so you can plug his gun in. So we'll bring in his gun. You've got 2 tabs on his weapon, and they go into the holes. Let me go ahead and rotate him around so I'm not having a trouble in there. You've got his gun there. He's got a very explosive hernia, but there, weapon storage is alright. It's not like it makes it look much worse than it was. I usually don't store it there because I prefer my weapon storage to be slightly more seamless. But carrying on, we've got the red cavity of cavities there, and then we've got the gold paint here for the robot mode toesies. The silver paint on the tail is on the underside. All the way back here, he does kind of get a little boxy because of the robot legs, but I think they did a decent job. And then you can see the sculpted area where the tail is going to sit in robot mode, but still, I think it looks pretty nice. Here he is from the front. You've got his big old dino face with his big old dino jaw, with his big old dino front teeth. The plant eater gets the nice sharp spiky front teeth. Grimlock missed out. Thanks a lot, Hasbro. But that's more of a detriment to Grimlock and a benefit to Sludge. I love Sludge. I have no affinity to any of the Dinobots as characters, so if I say I love Sludge, I mean this toy of Sludge. But that's about it. Here is his dino booty, and you don't really have much here. There's gunmetal gray plastic for this double hinge, and that's about it. More screw holes. I don't know, that's my thing this episode, screw holes. Put that in the thumbnail. But there you've got him. You've got no posability on the entire body slab itself, but you've got a ratcheted 360 for the back legs, which are the robot arms. That gives you a full 360 here at the thigh of the dino, bicep of the robot. You've got this double hinge here, but it kind of clicks in place. I'll go over that in the do the thing, but I just used the one bend here in dino mode. You're not really going to need that much, but you do get a lot out of that one bend. That's over 90 degrees. And then nothing here at the feeties for the front legs. It just rotates. It doesn't really move out without unplugging. So you could kind of fake a slight butterfly if you really want to, but it'll just rotate till it hits the body. Rotate till it hits the body. You do have, you do have thigh swivel, and then you do have a little foot rocker on the front leg. I am not in the middle of the frame at all, am I? I just found out that my camera shoots in ultra high def 60 FPS in the slug review, or the first ones I did it. I forgot to mention it, and so I'm just, you know, playing with that. Forgive me. His mouth does open, revealing one of those lovely pegs for your blast effects. So if you've got some, go ahead and go nuts. He can breathe blue fire. Your head itself has a hinge, goes from that far down to that far up, and then there is a rotation where the gold cuts for a full 360. This joint's awkward. We all know it if we've seen the figure before, but it's cut at a weird angle, but you can technically go this far up. That doesn't look terrible. He kind of looks like his Adam's apple is bulging out a little bit, but when you go down, it looks like his shoulders got moved up into his neck. But from a nice neutral pose, it does look very good and long necky. And like I said, I really do enjoy this Dino mode. And that's it for his Dino mode. He does not come with a rider. He is the most advanced as far as transformation goes, I believe, in my opinion, of the 3 Dinobots. And I think that might be where the budget from the rider went. They could have got rid of the rider on Grimlock and he would have had front teeth. But we'll go ahead and get into his robot mode and take a look at that. Alrighty, and here we are back in the video, I guess. I don't know why I'm saying this. Here we are for the first time in this video in robot mode. Yay! Yeah, I did it. I said the sentence. But before we take a look at him, let's go ahead and take a closer look at that gun. It is molded in gray. You've got the gold paint on this little sliding rail, which is what you would use to attach and detach scopes and whatnot. So if you wanted a more advanced sight than that, there you go. You've got the front. You've got this thing down here that make it look like it hinges open. It doesn't, but there you got that big old hole. You might be able to plug something in there. Do I have something with a plug? Here we go. There's a guy whose blast effect I used. Wrong fits in the hole. So yeah, you can plug things into that hole. Thanks, Rung. Thanks for being orange. But there you go. There's his gun. It looks pretty good. There's no hollowness to it. These Dinobot guns have a good track record with me. And he can indeed hold his gun in his hand as you would. And let's go ahead and swivel around to the back and see about storage for that gun. I'm not really seeing any real storage options from the back here. If you guys know of one, I never really looked before. This is the first time I've taken a look. Unless there's something that'll plug into that tab or up here like it stores behind his head. Let's take a look, shall we? Ooh! Let's see. I mean, you've got this tab. Is that... I mean, it looks like it might fit, but stuff's getting in the way. You could take it, plug it in here. Into this. You could, if you wanted to. Weapon storage? Maybe? Yeah? No? Okay, well, I'll tell you where I'm going to store his weapon. In his hand. Because that's how I'm going to do it for Sludge. Names, so many letters shared, so little time. But there you've got him in his robot mode. And this is how he came packaged, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I do know when he came packaged, this whole head assembly was separate. So we're going to go and detach it so I can show you something. So there, it came separate like this. And me and my infinite wisdom, I just pushed on it and pushed on it till it snapped in. But if you guys don't want to be dumb like me, you can just do this. You can line it up and slide it in. Look at how smart you guys get to be. And if you don't want to break it, but there is no stopping point, so you do have to get it in its nice happy middle spot. But there, you slide that in. Don't snap it in. Don't be like me. That's how you break stuff. Ooh, his knees are a little loose, but we'll get into that in a minute. And that's basically it for the extra stuff. So go ahead and take a look at Slug here. You have the molded gray helmet with silver and silver for the crest face. You've got that Dinobot blue for the eyes that the dinosaurs and robots have all had. You do have molded gray. That's not paint, that's an extra piece that's literally in the chest for detail with the silver backed Autobot badge there. All the color breakup from here on down is basically plastics. You've got the gray joints in the elbows. The hands, I believe, are painted again. Maybe? Or are those, no? Maybe those are molded this time. Sometimes it's hard to tell what they paint, what they mold, because they'll literally paint an entire piece of plastic just to be a different color because of the sprue they had it on. But then coming down here, you've got those gray stripes and gold feet and silver tails and another really clean inner leg there. But it has the opposite problem Grimlock's did. Grimlock's, I wish they would have painted the tail section that shown up a different color to color match it. Here they could have just left the gold paint off the inside of this panel, wouldn't affect the Dino mode, and you would have had a nice complete leg of all the same color. But this gold splash doesn't bother me. It's pretty thin. It kind of, you know, gives it some kind of detail. It's not as big and ledgy as Grimlock's, but there you go. On the side, you've got all the same painted stuff as before. Lots of little molded details. You got the Optimus Prime arrows there and stuff. Then from the back, here is his wings and his feet. How I have them oriented. I'll go over that in the Do the Thing. If you watch that, please and thank you. If you enjoy it, go ahead and leave a comment. I think that it works very well the way it does for that video format. And from the other side, alright, let's go ahead and get into articulation so we can talk about these knees. The head, surprise, surprise, is on a slab that doesn't plug in, so you can use that to accentuate your movement. This guy doesn't have a ball joint though, unlike Slug, who I just filmed. He's just got the swivel, he's got the mushroom. His head is two different halves wrapped around that mushroom. So you've got the left and the right, but no tilts. And the only up and down you're going to get are from that slab. So be thankful for the slab. For the shoulder, you get hinged out for 90 degrees, ratchets all the way around, just like the Dino hips, because that's what they are. You do have that bicep swivel. That was a thigh swivel in Dino mode. You have the double jointed elbow there for your double jointed elbowness. The wrists do swivel due to transformation again, so you can have turning wrists, no opening fingers, just like Slag. And then you have a 360 at the waist. Dino feet can get in the way a little bit, just kind of tilt them back into the head, and you can do your full 360. You've got your ratcheted hips, front and back. Unless you really want to move a bunch of this out of the way, you can go all the way back, but without moving it too far out of the way, that's what you're going to get. Forward, you can get the fist in your camera. You can get forward all the way. Out to the side, you do have friction. It's pretty solid, and if the wing, tail and wing cooperate, you can do the full splits. For that, well, it's really solid here, and then it's just like these knees are a little loose. They are ratcheted, but the ratchets have play, and they are not the strongest. I don't know if there's a fix for that. I haven't really bothered. I really actually like to have him in his long neck mode, so yes, the knees have play, and the ratchets aren't that strong. But they are good 90-degree knees for what they are. Also, there is a thigh swivel at the thigh that does 360. And then one thing that he does not have that Grimlock does is that little piece of plastic that helps give the illusion that his ankle is full. And I kind of don't know why. You've got the space for it, and you've got this little thing that's hollowed out, and then the foot transforms the same as Grimlock's. Is there just no space to? I'll have to see when I film to do the thing. I'll have to see if there's no space in front of this panel in Dino mode. I could be complaining about something that can't even exist in the space it's given. We'll see. Spoilers. I have no clue what it's going to come out to, but you guys will either be able to go, yeah, that's really weird, or you'll be able to call me a silly head and laugh at my past self. We'll laugh together when that happens. But there you go. There's his posability. There you have Sludge as a robot. And out of the Dinobots we have so far, he's my favorite. One, he didn't come with a useless little man. And I believe they put some of that back into the engineering, which is nice. People have issues with the wings being floppy. Mine tab in here, so just this joint is floppy. The rest holds into place fairly well. I can pull it off, but I'm not really shaking it off. But these are no more floppy than my Grimlock wings were. If you watch that review, they are pretty floppy, and I could fix both of these with some floor polish. I just haven't used much floor polish because I need to get a container for it, so that way I can dip stuff in it, because a lot of the stuff, the joints, mushroom pegs, you can just dip it in there and give it a shake, and then the coating is done. But stuff like that, you would take like a Q-tip or a toothpick and dip it in, just boink, and then you would let the drop fall in. Then you would work the hinge back and forth to get that all in there and let it dry for approximately 24 hours and see what it did, and then rinse and repeat to your likeness. But that's enough for my hypothetical tutorial on strengthening joints with floor polish. We'll go ahead and finish this review up. Go ahead and give it a like if you are so inclined. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't and you would like to. Share this channel with people who you might think would find it useful. Just tell them I can't talk right. Forewarn them. Do not short sell me. Tell them I can't do the talking. And I hope that you guys come back for the do the thing to see how he works. And we'll see you then.